progress report says we are at stage 2 and paragraph page 78. And the last
Yes.
headword was dad, newer type of lesson. Okay, so
Okay.
let's start with our revision. Ready? Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Is there anybody speaking to you? Is there any? Okay, can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Okay, is there anybody speaking to you? Is there anybody speaking to you? Yes,
Oh, yes.
there's
Uh,
somebody
there are somebody.
speaking to me.
There's somebody speaking to me.
Very good. Is there anybody sitting there on that chair? Is there anybody sitting there on that chair? Yes, there's
Yes.
somebody
There's somebody there
sitting
sitting
there
there
on that
on
chair.
that chair.
Very good. Okay. Is there anybody sitting on the floor? Is there anybody sitting on the floor? No, there
No,
isn't
there's
anybody.
nobody.
There isn't anybody
There isn't anybody
sitting on the floor.
on the floor.
Is there anybody in this room wearing a hat? Is there anybody in this room wearing a hat? No, there
No,
isn't
there
anybody
isn't
in that
anybody
room
in that
wearing
room
a hat.
wearing a hat.
Right? Is there anybody in the corridor? Is there anybody in the corridor? No,
No,
there
there
isn't
isn't
anybody
anybody
in the.
in that corridor.
Very good. Okay, who's speaking English in this room? Who's speaking English in this room? We're
We're speaking
speaking
English
in
in
this
this
room.
room.
Who's speaking French in this room? Who's speaking French in this room?
There
Nobody's.
is no
No,
nobody.
well, nobody's speaking French
Nobody is speaking French
in this
in
room.
this room.
Very good. Who's wearing clothes in this room? Who's wearing clothes in this room? We're
We're
wearing
wearing
clothes
clothes
in this
in
room.
this room.
Very good. Who's wearing a hat in this room? Who's wearing a hat in this room?
There
Nobody's
nobody
wearing a
nobody's
hat
wearing a hat
in
in
this
this
room.
room.
Who's giving you an English lesson? Who's giving you an English lesson? You're giving me. You're
You
giving me.
you're you're
Yeah,
giving
like
me
like you
you're
are.
giving me
Yeah, you're giving me
you're giving me
an
an English
English lesson.
lesson.
Very good.
Listen,
Who's in the corridor? Who's in the corridor?
there's
Nobody's.
nobody nobody
Nobody's in the corridor.
in the corridor.
But there's nobody in the corridor is also correct. Okay. Okay.
Mm,
Next. Okay. Here we go. What
yes,
am I doing? What am I doing? You're walking.
you're working.
What am I doing? Where am I walking to? Where am I walking to? You're walking
You're
to.
walking to the window.
Where am I walking to? Where am I walking to? You're walking
You
to.
are walking to the door.
Very good. Okay. Do you like walking? Do you like walking? Yes or no?
Yes, I like walking.
Very good. Does she like walking? Does she like walking? Yes or no?
Yes, she likes walking.
Very good. Okay. Is this Mr. Brown's dress? Is this Mr. Brown's dress? No,
No,
it
there
isn't.
isn't
It it
Mr.
isn't Mr. Brown's dress.
Yes,
Homer?
there isn't.
Not there isn't. It isn't
Oh, it isn't Mr.
Mr.
Brown's
Brown's dress.
dress.
It.
It's Mrs. Brown's dress.
Very good. Is this Jack Brown's shirt? Is this Jack Brown's shirt? Yes,
Yes,
it's Jack
it's
Brown.
Mr. Jack Brown's shirt.
Very good. Is this Mr. Brown's arm? Is this Mr. Brown's arm? No.
No, it
It
isn't Mr. Brown's arm. It's
it's
Mrs. Brown's arms.
very good. Is this Mr. Smith's ear? Is this Mr. Smith's ear? No, it
No,
isn't Mr.
it
Smith's ear. It
it
is
isn't Mr. Smith's ear. It's
its
Mr. Brown's ears.
ear. Very good. Is this Mr. Brown's book? Is this Mr. Brown's book? No, it
No, it
isn't
isn't Mr.
Mr.
Brown's
Brown's.
book.
It's your book.
Your book.
Very good. Okay, what's my right hand doing? What's my right hand doing? Your right
Your
hand's
your right
moving
hand
up
are
and down.
moving up and down.
Very good. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're
You're
standing up.
standing up.
What am I doing? What am I doing? You're.
You're sitting down.
Very good. Okay. Next. Do you sit down after the lesson? Do you sit down after the lesson? No.
Yes, I.
Yes, I sit
Oh
down.
no, no,
No,
no,
I don't sit
no.
down
I don't sit down
after
after
the
the
lesson.
lesson.
I stand up after
I
the
stand
lesson.
up. I stand up after the lesson.
Very good. What's the negative of can? What's the negative of can? The negative of can.
The negative. Uh,
The negative of can
The negative of the pen.
Can, like can.
Can.
The negative of can,
The negative of the can is
cannot.
cannot.
Very good. What's the construction of cannot? What's the construction of cannot? The construction of
The
cannot.
construction of cannot is can't.
Very good. Can you speak French? Can you speak French?
No, I can't speak French.
Very. Can you put this book into your pocket? Can you put this book into your pocket? No.
No, I can't
Put
put
that book
that book
into my
into
pocket.
my pocket.
Very good. Can you touch the ceiling? Can you touch the ceiling? Yes or no?
No, I can't. No, I can't
Touch.
touching the ceiling.
Very good. Okay, next. How much is a quarter of 40? How much is a quarter of 40? 10
40.
is a quarter.
10 is the 40. 10 is the
A quarter.
10 is a quarter of 10 of 40.
Very good. Okay. How much is a quarter of 1,000? How much is a quarter of 1,000? 250
250 is
is
a
a
quarter
quarter
of a
of
thousand.
1,000. Very good. What's a quarter of 10? What's a quarter of 10? Two and a half.
Two, two and a half. Two and a half is a quarter of 10.
Very good. What's a quarter of 5? What's a quarter of 5? One
One a quarter is a
quarter
quarter of
5.
5.
Very good. Okay. Are you teaching me English? Are you teaching me English?
No,
I'm not
I'm not teaching
teaching you
you
English.
English.
I'm
I'm
learning
learning you
I'm
English.
learning English from you.
I'm learning. Okay, I'm learning English from you.
Very good. Do you learn Spanish? Do you learn Spanish?
No, I don't learn.
Spanish.
Eh? I don't learn Spanish.
I learn English.
I learn English.
Very good. Do you like learning a language? Do you like learning a language?
Yes, I like learning
A
a
language.
language.
Very good. Does she like learning a language? Does she like with
Yeah.
learning a language?
Yes, she likes learning English.
Very good.
A
A
language.
language. Very good. Okay, next. Is English grammar difficult? Is English grammar difficult? No.
It isn't.
No.
No.
English
Uh,
grammar isn't difficult.
no, English grammar isn't difficult.
It's
It's easy.
very good. Is Chinese an easy language to learn? Is Chinese an easy language to learn? No. Chinese
No,
isn't
Chinese
an
isn't
easy language to
an
learn.
easy language to learn.
It's a difficult
It's
language
it's it's a difficult that it's a
language
difficult language
to learn.
to learn.
Very good. Is it difficult for you to speak your language? Is it difficult for you to speak your language? No, it isn't
No,
difficult for
it
me
isn't that it isn't difficult for me
to speak
to
my
learn language
language. To speak my language.
to speak my language.
It's easy.
It's easy.
Is it generally easy for people to write with their left hand? Is it generally easy for people to write with their left hand? No, it
No, it
isn't
isn't
generally easy
generally easy
for
to write
people to write
for people to write
with their left
in
hand. With
to
their
write
left hand.
in to write uh, with
Their left
their
hand.
left hand.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
Very good. Okay, what's my pen doing? What's my pen doing? Your pen's
Your
hanging
pen is hanging
between your finger and your
between
thumb.
your finger and the arm.
Very good. Is there a light hanging from the ceiling? Is there a light hanging from the ceiling? Yes or no?
Yes,
There's a light hanging from the ceiling.
there's a light hanging the ceiling
From the ceiling.
from the ceiling.
Is there a map hanging on that wall? Is there a map hanging on that wall? Yes or no?
Yes,
There's a map
there's a map is
hanging
hanging
on that wall.
on that wall.
Very good. Do you go home by after the lesson by car, by bus, or do you walk home? Do you go home after the lesson by car, by bus, by train, or do you walk home? I'd
I walk
walk home
home
after the lesson.
after the
I
lesson.
don't go by car, by
I don't
bus,
go by car, by bus, by
or
train,
by train.
or by train.
Very good. Which do you prefer, to walk or to go by car? Which do you prefer, to walk or to go by car? I prefer to
I prefer to walk
than to go by
to
car.
than to
Go by car.
go by car.
Reggie, do you come to school by train or by bus? Do you come to school by train or by bus? I come to school
I come to school
by
by bus.
very good. Does she come to school by train or by bus? Does she come to school by train or by bus? She comes to school
She comes to school by
by
train.
train. Very good. Okay, next. Are you married? Are you married? Yes or no?
Yes, I'm
I'm
married.
married. Is Mr. Brown single? Is Mr. Brown single? No.
Yeah,
Mr.
no,
Brown.
he
Mr.
isn't.
Brown isn't single.
Mr. Brown isn't single.
He's
He's
married.
married.
Very good. Is Miss Brown married? Is Miss Brown married? No. Miss
No,
Brown
Mrs.
isn't
Brown
married.
isn't married. It's single.
She's
She's
single.
single. She's single.
Very good. Okay. Has Mr. Brown got a wife? Has Mr. Brown got a wife? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Brown's got a
Mr.
wife.
Brown has
Mr.
get a wife.
Brown's got a wife.
Mr. Brown's got a wife.
Very good. Has Mrs. Brown got a husband? Has Mrs. Brown got a husband? Yes.
Yes,
Mrs.
Mr.
Brown.
Brown's got a husband.
Very good. One more. Yes. Mrs.
Yes,
Brown's
Mrs.
got a
Brown.
husband.
Mrs. Brown's got a husband.
Very good. Okay. Is Mrs. Brown's husband standing behind the house? Is Mrs. Brown's husband standing behind the house? No.
No,
Mrs.
Mr.
Brown.
Brown isn't
Mrs.
standing.
Mrs. Brown's.
Mr. Brown.
Mrs. Brown's.
Mr. Brown's.
Not Mr. Mrs. No. Mrs. Brown's husband
No, Mrs. Brown's husband
isn't standing behind the house.
isn't standing behind the house.
He's
He's
standing
standing
in front
in
of the
front of
house.
the house.
Very good. What's your mother's name? What's your mother's name? My mother's name's
My mama's name is
Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown.
Mr. Brown.
Very good. Okay, next. What's the plural of child? What's the plural of child? The plural of child
The plural of the child. The
is
plural of child is children.
very good. How many children have your mother and father got? How many children have your mother and father got? My mother and father
My mother and the father
have got.
have got 2 children.
Very good. Are you an only child? Are you an only child? Yes
No,
or no?
I'm not only a child.
I'm not an only child.
I'm not. I'm
An
not.
only. Very good. One more. No, I'm not an only child.
No, I'm not an only child.
There. That's all right. I'm not an only child. Okay, next. What do we call this? What do we call this? We call that a pen.
We call that pen.
Very good. What do we call the people in France? What do we call the people in France? We call the people
We call
in
the people
France
in
French.
France.
French.
French.
Very good. What do we call the thing we wear on our heads? What do we call the thing we wear on our heads? We call the thing we wear.
We call
The thing we wear
we call the thing we wear
on our heads a
on
hat.
our heads is a hat.
Very good. What do people generally call their mother and father? What do people generally call their mother and father? People generally call their mother and father
their mother
and father
and the father
mom and dad.
Mom and dad.
Mom and dad. Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have new work. Okay, repeat.
Yes.
One, the other.
One the other.
Very good. Okay, listen. Both my hands aren't on the table. One's on the table and the other's on my arm. Okay, let's practice. Are both my
Yes.
hands on the table? Are both my hands on the table? No. Both
No.
your hands.
Both
Your hands aren't on the table. Aren't on the table.
Aren't on the table.
One's on the table.
Once
On the table.
Once on the table.
And the others on your arms.
On their arms.
Very good. Are both my hands closed? Are both my hands closed?
No.
Both your hands aren't closed.
Aren't closed.
One's closed.
One's closed.
And the others open.
The other is open.
Open. And the others open.
And the others open.
Very good. Okay, here we go. Are both these pencils black? Are both these pencils black? No. Both those pencils
aren't
black.
Aren't black.
One's black.
One's black.
And the others.
What's
that? Yellow.
Yellow.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Kind.
Hand.
Okay, one more. Kind.
Kind.
Very good. Okay, listen. Kind is a noun. For example, this is a book. What kind of book is this? It's an English book. What kind of room is this? It's a classroom.
Yes.
What kind of car do you prefer? I prefer an SUV. Let's practice. What's this? What's this? It's a book.
It's a book.
What kind of book is this? What kind of book is this? It's an
It's an
English
English
book.
book.
Very good. What kind of room is this? What kind of room is this? It's a classroom.
It's a classroom.
What kind of car do you prefer? What kind of car do you prefer? I prefer.
I prefer
What kind of car do you prefer? Sports car, family car, SUV, sedan? I prefer
SUV. Prefers SUV.
an SUV. Very good. Okay. Next, repeat the preposition.
Preposition.
Repeat.
Sorry.
Preposition.
Preposition.
Very good. So prepositions means it tells the position. Preposition. Okay. So let's learn about preposition. Okay,
Yes.
listen. The words on, under, in, from, etc. are prepositions. For example,
Yes.
you come from China. I come from Philippines. Okay, let's practice.
Yes.
Give me an example of the preposition. Give me some examples of prepositions, please. Some examples of prepositions. Eh,
Uh,
Some examples
some examples.
of prepositions
Some examples of
of
sorry, uh,
prepositions
s- of prepositions is
are
for,
are are
are,
on, under,
on,
in,
and
and from.
in, and from.
Very good. One more. Some examples of
Some examples of
preposition
preposition
are
is
on, are on,
on, in,
under,
off,
and
and
from,
in.
and in. Very good. Where
And
do you
in.
come from? Where do you come from? I come from.
I come from China.
Where do I come from? Where do I come from? You come from.
You you come
You
you come
come from
from
Philippines.
Philippines.
Very good.
Philippines.
Okay, listen. When we use question words, for example, what, which, and where, we put the preposition last in the sentence. So we put it in the after the sentence. For example,
Mm.
we do not say from where do you come. We say where do you come from. We do not say on what are you putting the book. We say what are you putting the book on. Okay, so let's practice. What do I
Yes.
speak with? What do I speak with? We speak
We're speaking.
with we speak with our mouths.
We speak with our mouth.
Where am I taking the book from? Where am I taking the book from? You're taking the book from the table.
You're taking. Yes. You're taking the books from the table.
Very good. What am I putting the pen under? What am I putting the pen under? You're putting the pen
You're putting the
under the
pen
book.
under the book.
Very good. What are you sitting on? What are you sitting on? I'm sitting.
You're you're
You.
sitting.
What are you sitting on? So the answer is
I'm
I'm
sitting.
sitting on a
I'm
chair.
sitting on the chair.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to your reading.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so our reading is at stage 1, page 22. Last head word was plus equals. Okay, start with plus equals 2 plus 2 equals 4.
It's a page
22.
22.
Yeah, 2, 2.
Oh, okay. Uh, what number is this? 30, 40,
Oh,
etc.
start at the next head word. Plus equals 2 plus 2.
2 plus 2.
Yeah, plus equals like the head words, like the words in bold. Plus equals 2 plus 2. Like that.
I don't understand.
Oh, you know, start.
Plus.
Yeah, that's what we call head
Plus
word.
equal. Plus
Okay,
equals, yes.
okay,
2
what's
plus
this?
2 equal 4.
Well,
Hmm?
okay, start. What's this?
What's this? Hmm? Sorry.
Okay, read. It's 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Uh, it's 2 plus 2 equal 4. Yes, I see.
Uh-huh. Next,
Mm,
how
next,
much?
how much is 3 plus 5? 3 plus 5 equals 18.
Hmm.
Yes. How much is 18 plus 40? 18 plus 40 equals 58.
Hmm.
How much is 60 plus 19? 60 plus 19 equals 79.
79.
How much is 16 plus 30? 60 plus 30 equals 46.
Hmm.
How much is 19 plus 15? 19 plus 15 equals 105.
Very good.
Mm. Is there is there
There is.
is there there is there a pen on this book? Yes, there's a pen on this book. Is there a light on the ceiling? Yes, there's a light on the ceiling. Mm. Is there a bag? Is there a bag in this room? Yes, there is a bag in this room. Is there a pen on the book? Yes, there's a pen on the book. Are there two pens on the book now? Yes, there are two pens on the book now. Mm. Are there
3
12
chairs.
chairs? Hmm?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are there 12? Are there 12 chairs in this room? Yes, there are 12 chairs in this room. Are there two pictures on these walls? Yes, there are two pictures on these walls. Is there a pen on the book? No, there isn't a pen on the book. Is there a book on the floor? No, there isn't a book on the floor. Is is there a clock on the table? No, there isn't a clock on the table. Are there three clocks on the wall? No, there aren't three clocks on that wall. There's one clock on that wall. Are there 100 pictures in this room? No, there aren't 100 pictures in this room. There are two pictures in this room. Are there a thousand chairs in this room? No, there aren't 1,000 chairs in this room. There are 12 chairs in this room. Is the chair high? No, the chair isn't high. It's low. Mm.
Is the
Is
wall.
the wall is low? No, the wall isn't low. It's high. Mm. Is the table high? No, the table isn't high. It's low.
Next, take the
Mm.
book, please.
Yes. Book away. Uh, take the take the book, please. What's he doing? He's taking the book.
Okay, but we stop there for today.